Lesson 5: Primary Market versus Secondary Market. Hello everyone, welcome back. In our last lesson, we learned what the stock exchange is and how people buy and sell shares. Today, we are going to learn the difference between the primary market and the secondary market. This is the most misunderstood topic for beginners, but don't worry, by the end of this lesson, you will understand it clearly. Let's start with the primary market. What is the primary market? The primary market is where a company sells shares for investors for the very first time. This is the first time those shares are being offered to the public. The money from those sales goes directly to the company. Why? Because the company is trying to raise money to grow its business. Let's use an example. Imagine a company wants to build a new factory that will cost 100 billion naira. Instead of borrowing all the money from the bank, the company decides to sell some of its ownership to the public. It offers millions of shares for sale. Thousands of investors buy those shares. The money paid by those investors goes directly to the company. The company now has the money to build the factory, buy equipment, hire workers, or expand its business. This is called the primary market. One common way this happens is through the initial public offering, IPO. An IPO is when a private company becomes a public company by selling shares to investors for the very first time. Now let's talk about the secondary market. What is the secondary market? After investors buy shares in the primary market, they may decide to keep them for many years, or they may decide to sell them. If any investors want to buy those shares, they trade them on the stock exchange. This is called the secondary market. Here is the important difference. In the secondary market, the company does not receive the money. Instead, the money goes from one investor to another. Let's imagine this. Sarah buys 100,000 shares during a company's IPO. 2 years later, the company has grown and then share price has increased. David wants to buy those shares. Sarah sells them to David through the stock exchange. David pays Sarah. Sarah transfers the money to David. The company is not part of those transactions. The company is not part of that transaction. This is why the secondary market exists, to allow investors to buy and sell shares whenever they choose. Why is the secondary market important? Imagine if you bought shares and you never sell them. Most people wouldn't invest. The secondary market gives investors flexibility. If you need your money, you can sell your shares to another investor. This makes investing much more attractive. It also helps determine the market value of companies because the share price changes based on supply and demand. Let's compare them. The primary market. In the primary market, shares are sold for the very first time. Money goes to the company, helps the company raise capital, often involve an IPO. In the secondary market, we have existing shares are traded. Money goes between investors. The company does not receive the money. Trading happens every business day on the stock exchange. A simple example. Think about buying a brand new phone. When you buy it from the manufacturer or an authorized dealer, the money goes to the company. That's like the primary market. Later, if you sell that phone to your friend pays you, not the manufacturer. That's like the secondary market. Key takeaway. Here are the most important things to remember. The primary market helps companies raise money. The secondary market helps trade ownership with one another. Understanding this difference is one of the foundation of investing. In our next lesson, we'll discuss what is an IPO, initial public offering. We'll explain why companies decide to go public, how an IPO works, and why some IPO become some of the biggest investment opportunities in the market. Thank you for watching. If this lesson made the stock market easier to understand, follow the page, share this video, and join us for the next lesson.